We have, as mentioned at the beginning, the idea is, the brief is that we have to develop a 15-minute city strategy, But we have first to form our own vision or whatever. So let's discuss all together and decide which ones of these priorities should be. Let's rank these priorities. For example, who wants to take the first to talk first? Which one you think should be the first priority of this? Should it be public open spaces? Should it be spatial accessibility? What do you think?
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it should be spatial accessibility. The road network needs to be accessible for people to start walking before finding other opportunities to walk afterwards. The road network needs to be there and needs to be accessible first when you get out of your house.
Okay, great. I agree. Do we have another how to say, a difference of opinion? If not, we can continue to the second priority. Maybe we can go one by one and discussing what we think about this. Which one wants to propose the second priority? Fotini, Maria, Nerke? I don't know.
May I start? Okay, I think maybe public open spaces, because I see in the neighborhoods that there are at least 2 squares here, and maybe they connect with each other in some way. So I think it's a big part of the neighborhood, and I would put public open spaces in second.
Great. Let's do it like that. I can put it myself. So public open spaces should be the second one. Okay. Maria, Nerje, who wants to pick up the baton?
Are we talking now for the third priority?
Yeah, for the third priority. Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Maybe we should put local economy second, because when public open space, I would put it third. Why? Since we're talking about the 15-minute city strategy, primary goals is to get people out in the street and do their chores and work locally. This means not primarily we should focus on leisure on a second note, and firstly on the local economy.
I actually agree with a person spoken before. If we want indeed to have a sustainable community, first we have to focus, yes, on the spatial accessibility, but also the local economy, and then look for the public open spaces just to get people gathering or working together.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's exactly the opposite, because if the places are more friendly, then people will want to come there more, so they will buy from these spaces more. So if it's more friendly to the person, to the family that wants to go to a park or a public open space, then they're more likely to go out to also go there and shop, since they will be nearby, since it will be more friendly.
I completely agree with these points as well, but if we actually put it on a scale, which one will attract more people or make the economy flourish, obviously will be to expand the local businesses or economy as well. That's my opinion.
Don't put it in that perspective. Put it in the perspective which is closer to your front door, a park, or a local market that you would need to walk 15 minutes to do your stuff and then go home.
Okay, yeah.
A park is an attractor, is a necessity, and the idea of open public space that if you want to do, if you live in Kypseli, okay, there are not a lot of parks in Kypseli. But
there are a lot of
need
shops.
to move
That's why I
fast,
mentioned it.
do
That's
your
why I thought
stuff, go back.
Okay, okay,
Oh.
I understand your point of view and I agree. I know Kypseli has a lot of shops, that's why I mentioned public spaces in the first place.
Okay, so just for helping the discussion a bit, since we do it like that, let's have a quick look to all these priorities just to have it in mind, because also we have spatial accessibility, road safety, local economy, public open spaces, also the sense of neighborhood and everyday life for residents, which is another point that is relevant to what you're discussing, and connecting the various areas of the city or something else. However, if we have a consensus, let's say that the two next spaces, let's say, ranks should be public common space and local economy, we can decide one or the other and then move on to the next, let's say, position spot.
If I
Yeah, what do you
may,
think?
I think local economy and public open spaces are both of equal value. So they should be number two, both of them.
Yeah, let's put them both at number two. We can do
Ne-
that.
And the reason why I'm saying that is that local, I think it's very interesting, if you don't mind me saying
Yeah, sure.
this, but local economy is something that, let's say, the public open spaces is also important for someone who takes care of family members. And I think it's of equal importance as the economy. And I think it's just an observation. It's indicative that the two people that advocated for local economy were males, whereas the person who advocated for public open spaces advocated was a female who is more aware of the let's say the dual role that they have as mothers and as professionals. I don't know if you agree, but I think local economy and public open spaces with the criterion that all this should let's say that the city is for all, should be of equal value. Let's put it this way.
Great. How all others feel, and also we can, if we all agree with this, I mean, because I felt that it was a consensus on the importance of both two things. So let's change the bit and put them both as the number two position. If we'll agree, or we can understand the rationale, and we can move on to the third, let's say, priority. Which of these next things should we rank next? Not third exactly, but next. Road safety, the sense of neighborhood and everyday life of residents, or connecting the various areas of the city? What do you think?
On this one, if I may again, I think that's my personal view, is the sense of neighborhood and the everyday life of residents. I think it's an important element because it creates the conditions for a sense of safety for everybody, for social networks to develop and to function, for social cohesion. And I think it's a very important value that we should be aiming at. But that's my personal view.
Great. Also, I see that Iason is writing something other, which is an interesting point. But yeah, go ahead. Whoever wants.
It relates to density and the will to walk just 1 meter further. If you have continuous active facades, there are visual cues for you to walk a little bit further. So I think it's a prerequisite in planning regulations for city cores.
Sure, but keep in mind that here, let's say the continuous active facades, in my point of view, but let's discuss it, of course, it's one of the tools to achieve one or the other. But here we tried at least we have, let's say the brief is 15-minute city strategy or whatever. What are our planned priorities? What are our vision? How this one may promote, don't know, road safety that we have here, rather than spatial accessibility. Not that one is the better than the other.
Yeah, I understand.
But what is the, let's say, our what is our guidelines? Our not guidelines, actually, our position and our as planners in this exercise. I'm also seeing sorry, go ahead.
May I ask, maybe
Yes,
the sense of neighborhood and the everyday life of residents goes along with road safety? I feel like these two could also go together in the sense of importance, because basically the neighborhood is the road you walk and the pedestrian. This is the neighborhood, so I think these two can definitely go together, especially the little kids that play outside the road. So I think neighborhood and road safety also go together.
As let's say the next shared position in our ranking, if I understood correctly. Correct? This is what you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Okay, nice point. What do you think, the rest of you?
Yes, I completely agree with the previous person. That's why I actually wrote this small note. In order to have a secure public open space, so the everyday families can gather together, you need to have road safety. And coming to that, we need to specify what exactly do we mean by road safety. We mean that for pedestrian-wise, motorized-wise, we need to actually specify that.
Yeah, it's up to the group, to be honest, but just given what was our, let's say, thinking when we are describing road safety, because we're discussing about the 15-minute strategy that to some extent it's pretty much oriented to the pedestrian mobility, or at least sustainable mobility in general. We primarily focus on people walking, while not forgetting or cycling or moving with sustainable mobility measures. But at the same time, these people may need the protection even from vehicular movement. It's not like it's only for their. So yeah, this is the idea, let's say. But either way, if I'm not mistaken, we have finished, let's say, our ranking, and leaving to the last place, let's say, the connecting various areas of the city. This, without this meaning that it's not important, but we are, and I'm just trying to make a conclusion of what everyone said, but feel free to comment on this. But if I understood correctly, all our comments, we are primarily focused on everyday life and on the local scale, let's say, on the neighborhood scale of the city of our area, meaning it's these characteristics rather than its connectivity to other areas inside of Athens in general. We prioritize proximity rather than connectivity, to say it in more let's say, technical terms. I'm not seeing comments, and also we passed the 10-minute mark for our this first activity, this first step. So if we all don't have a final comment from anyone, we can move on to the next step. What do you think?
Yes.
Great. So In this next step, we will try to analyze our study area by using the composite urban types that we presented earlier. So here we have a web map. I will open it myself just for you to see it. And we can zoom in, zoom out, and try to see what we can make out of it. Have in mind that we want to make some remarks in two scales, let's say in two focuses. One for the whole area, for the whole city, or actually for an area of interest, but within the whole city, and then inside our study area. However, I forgot to describe a bit in more length which is our study area. We have the sixth municipal community, as it's called, from Athens, which includes these neighborhoods: Kypseli, Platia Amerikis, Polygono, Platia Victorias. I don't know how many of you knows this area. And it is characterized by high population density, low mid-income areas, residential areas, and high-rise buildings, let's say. So I will now open. You are welcome to open it yourself as well. This map, and I will put a mark of 10 minutes again in my phone. So I'm opening this map.
I think you have it open already. Please.
Oh, yeah, here it is. So just for you to also have be able to navigate in this map yourself as well. So here we have this web map. On the left, we have the different tools, let's say, that are available. We can, in this second tab, we have the layers, which allow us to close anything that we don't want to see at any point, or open, for example, the labels as well, the labels of each study area. Here we have in this, now we are focusing on the sixth study area, which is this one, with Kypseli, Platia Amerikis, and stuff, as we discussed earlier. So also, here is the labels. Only I can close it because this is it for you. And as mentioned before, we can expand this group of layers and open, for example, specific layers to visualize. For example, here we have the between types and the network centrality types that we can see also in the legend. In the legend here, we can see what is open. We have the between type, background, local centrality, stuff like that. With this pattern, we have segregated areas or integration core, and with the icons of metro station and of this pedestrian, we have whether we have a significant presence of active mobility conductors, meaning pedestrian roads, steps, and stuff like that. And if we have walkable access to the metro station. But also, to go on again about the layers, we can open and close anything we don't want to see every time. For example, we can close this and this and this, and open this actually, is what I'm going to say. And open just the streets, or close the streets and return to the previous visualization again with areas. So I would suggest to start a bit on the first on the build density types. Let me open them. And okay, who wants to make a remark about our study area, which is this? Let me also open the label, the sixth one. This is it. In regards to the whole city, about the build density types of the city. This is the legend as well. And just as a reminder, for these types, dense high-rise, it's areas with high coverage, high ground space index, and high floor space index, meaning the whole volume. Dense rise is high GSI and medium FSI. and so on and so forth. Feel free to ask anything. And who wants to take the floor for making a remark about build density and in regards to the sixth area of interest compared to the whole city? I don't hear anything.
Sorry, I didn't understand the task. Can you explain a little?
Yeah, sure. So let me go to the mirror again just for having the whole concept. In a planning procedure, after we have specified our plan priorities more or less, we have to analyze the area and make some remarks, understand what's happening on the area that we're going to plan. So as an exercise, we have assigned, let's say, the sixth municipal district, which is this, the one with the six on the with the number 6, with the label 6. So as the first task, we have to explore a bit the build density types and make a comment about our study area, both in regards to the whole city, what is the build density types of our study area in comparison to the whole city, and what is the build density types inside the study area and what is the mix, let's say.
Okay.
So this is the first task.
So we have dense high-rise and mid-rise. And it goes like a triangle where you start with 3 pieces of high-rise, then you go to mid pieces, and then there's a small piece of spacious low-rise. So it's like maybe there could be a nice connection between these 3. That's what I noticed.
Okay, that's a nice remark, a nice idea, I'll say, that help us for the insiders to the area. What about comparing the whole study area to the whole city, let's say, to the rest of the city? Okay, I will do this myself, but then you have to.
Should I?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
It seems that this area is one of the highest density areas throughout the city.
Yeah, that's.
In terms of like height and compactness from the way you know. And I don't know but maybe the spacious low-rise does this have to do with the green area there?
Yeah, that's exactly right. In terms of, we don't know, in terms of the mapping, we don't consider if it's green area or not, but because it's not built up area, it is identified as minimal build density.
Which is interesting because despite the fact that there is a substantial green area beyond 2 areas, it's still considered the dense mid-rise area.
Exactly, in comparison to the one that you mentioned, because this is not that build up as is in around the Pedro areas.
Can I add also?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we observe a classification of typology around the main route axis. We have the dense high-rise, which basically these areas are already dense. They have the base foundation to become the 15-minute cities that we're talking about. And also you have also very high walls in front of the main streets that provide some sort of barrier and nice σύνορο. Sorry, Yanni.
Barrier.
Yeah. So the actual city has decided where should be the connecting points with other neighborhoods to create the cluster of neighborhoods or 15-minute cluster where you will have the cluster, the inter-neighborhood commercial activities, let's say, not the interior commercial activities. This is also decided by the fact that you have dense mid-rise in the interior parts of the neighborhoods, which is the in-between space between the dense high-rise that should promote local activities.
Yeah, that's a great point, to be honest. I will open the functional mixture types before continuing the discussion, just as the different board to continue to discuss how is our study area. I hope that it's helpful. So this is the functional mixture types. Let me open, sorry, the legend. So just a reminder about the legend and the types. We have the sparse populated neighborhoods that are the neighborhoods that, let me do this, maybe it's helpful for you as well, okay. We have sparse populated neighborhoods, which are areas with very low sleep components, let's say sleep analytical component, meaning population density, but also kind of low live and play and pay components, which can be found in the edges of the city, and also in parts of Botanicos Eleon and stuff like that, and also in the Psychiko in the north part of Athens. Also, this can be also found in some part of Kolonaki what's called this area, and Evangelismos. But as we can see, for example, here we have difference. If in some cases we have extensive access of or not at all. This was the best comment probably we could have, and I mean it. But let's continue to the boring parts that we're discussing now. On the other hand, we have tourist land, national business district in the historic center of Athens, and commercial tourist land on the Keramikos, Omonia, and Plaka of Athens. While now going to our study area, we can see more of a commercial neighborhood, living neighborhood, and stuff like that. Just to remind you, commercial neighborhood is areas with areas with which we have high population density, but also high pay component and live component, to say it like that. While living neighborhood has a smaller, let's say, degree of pay activities, but more extensive, more substantial access to everyday activities. For all this, just to be able to show it yourself if need be, we have also on what I shared before, we have this supporting urban types cheat sheet, which has, for example, here for the functional mixture, one can see how in the different components, what is the quantification, let's say, of the types, and what is the long description and the label. So for the example that we made before about commercial neighborhood, here we have then residential commercial areas with significant presence of everyday life facility, because we have very high sleep component, meaning population density, very high live component, which refers to point of interest relative to everyday activities, and not low and very low other aspects. So now that I once again reminded you of this, please someone take the baton, as mentioned before, and make a comment about functional mixture, which is this one. Come on. Who wants to? I will give the floor to Fix again.
Can you go back to the Excel that you...
Okay, let me go. I'm sorry, not this. It's this one. Yeah.
Okay.
You can open the Excel. Let me once again send you the link, all of you, I mean, to just have it if it's helpful. Here is everything. So yeah, let's go to the map again. Who wants to make a comment? Because we then have to plan a bit as well. So
Give me a second, I'm reviewing the map.
yeah. Maybe I can also. Is this helpful? Or this is a graph describing what is in the Excel more or less, graphically.
And you want us to describe the areas based on that?
I want you to describe the areas based on, based on how you, not describe. I mean, this we have the definition, so not. But
No,
what do you make out of this area based on this analysis? Or to say differently, we discussed about build density, how we have some underlying things that we can work on for 15 minutes and stuff like that. What about the functional form of the city?
Again, it relates to my previous comment. There is a stratification of how the nature of the neighborhoods. As close to the city core, you have central businesses district and tourist land, as we see. But along the main routes, you have the commercial activities, and then behind them, you start having neighborhood clusters that function as a whole, but as units also. The living neighborhood layer.
Yeah.
The sparsely populated is as then you start creating a sort of exterior wall where you can define where the suburb starts to appear. So you have basically you have the map of the city and the history of the city at the same time, where you have the core, the historic core and the main extension. And then where you have the sort of barrier that beyond that point, you have the suburbs with the discontinued fabric. This is how I perceive it. It's a map of the Marshall classification of how a city is built, basically.
Nice. Thanks, Yason, for being so active as well. Anyone else wanted to make a comment on something before going on to the difficult part, which is the network centrality? Or at least it may seem like that. Go ahead.
Just some quick Like it seems that on the east side there is a very good access to green areas, especially in the south part around the periodo areas. Whereas on the left, which kind of correlates to which areas were more dense, there is not so good access to green.
And also, there are areas that are very high on population as well. Most of them. Go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No.
Okay. Having started thinking about the buildings of the thing and the functions, let's try to think also about the potential that the network creates. So let me change again the layers. So let me go to the legend. Again, in the Excel, we have the network types, the through movement potential, and how the different aspects of it can be seen. But I will go back to the map because I think it will be more helpful this way, to be honest. But just mention it if someone wants to check the Excel as well. But going to the map, we can see here that we have. I will try to make a more generic, let's say, analysis and comment on the thing, and then you may comment specifically for the sixth area. So we can see that we have some, especially in the center, we have some multi-scale neighborhood and city centrality areas that have potential to attract movement as pass through routes, and especially in the city center, we have extensive. Let's say it's very important to have active mobility conductors and metro and access to metro stations, which are lacking to a lot of other places, especially on the periphery of the city. Here, I think if we focus a bit on the sixth, on our area of interest, which is this one, the sixth one, we can see that. To give a hint, I think that there is a very important, let's say, two very interesting patterns that arise that are kind of related to what we have seen for the build dense functional mixture types, both in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of the potential of network to bring movement and mobility and stuff like that. So, because I will give it away, I think I will continue talking. I will give the floor to anyone who wants to comment something. And yeah.
Sorry, can you ask the question again?
Sorry?
Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, the idea is to see what we can understand by this visualization, more or less, or to be more to say it in a more extensive way. Here we have information both about the potential of the network to function as a route in different scales, but also whether this area can attract movement as destinations. And finally, we also know whether they have the infrastructure to generate centrality themselves. For example, just giving an example for this area in Omonia and Metaxurgio and part of actually Omonia. Here we have an area with multi-scale city centrality, meaning that it has routes that work on on big radius of the city in 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers. In the graded one, in the graded area with multi-scale city centrality, meaning that it also works as a destination with metro in walkable distance and with active mobility conductors, meaning that this is an area that attracts movement both as a destination and as a pass-through area in multiple scales and with infrastructure to support this kind of sustainable mobility movement. What we can understand for our study area, which is the sixth one, based on this kind of analysis.
Okay, so we have 2 metro stations and a walkable area in the middle that basically connects these 2 metro stations. And usually metro stations in Athens are 20 minutes apart by foot or something like that. So maybe this is basically a connection of the city, and it's all the high-rise part of the process. And sorry, the question is how we can add to it, or just to comment on it.
Comment. We try to understand the study area. So yeah, we understand by this component. Yeah.
Okay, I find very interesting the line that is created between the metro, the walkable area, and the other metro station. And I think in comparison to other parts or parts where metro and walkable are just in the same place, I find it more interesting that there's a line that is to be created and basically a pathway.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Oh, great, very nice, very insightful comment, very useful. Anyone else? What do you make up? What do you understand by the typologies of network centrality for study area?
Sorry, maybe the fact that it's not if we take this area as an area, it's not in this. It concentrates more on the left side, and the right side is as we go more not west. As we go more right and right, we see how it becomes either less noisier, less more neighborhood-like.
Okay. Actually, I want to. This is a very, very, very helpful comment in my view, at least. And also, I will close a bit the metros and the active mobility part, the conductors, because to focus a bit on the scale of the network actually, and whether it's degraded or not. If someone wants to comment something.
By the way, don't forget to add your comments to the Miro board.
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but yeah, that's true. But okay, let's discuss, and we can see what we can.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, with reference to the primary objective, which I think should be our first priority, as we've agreed. The centrality level of analysis, I think, should be the primary analysis, which would then guide us with regards to the other 2 levels, the functional and the building type, density type level, in the sense that in locations where there is areas with, let's say, city centrality, we could potentially increase the building density in the function of jobs. in the areas of neighborhood or local centrality, we could increase potentially, and assuming there is capacity always, sleep building and other functions which would serve the sleep level. What I'm saying is that this is useful analysis, but we must never forget our primary objective, which would then guide us to decide what the interventions will be. That's how I see that, at least.
Yeah, exactly. This is very, very, very useful. And if we don't have any other comment, but feel free to do so.
May I ask something?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
I don't know. Maybe it's out of. Maybe it doesn't have to do with what we're doing right now. But does maybe the mid-rise high with the low-rise high have to do sometimes something with how poor a neighborhood is? I don't know. I'm just asking. Like maybe it could mean that, oh, okay, on the west side, maybe there's a concentration of people that economically are in a better situation. And that's why you see more complicated buildings. And maybe on the east side, it's a bit more simple neighborhoods, a bit more different, maybe more lower income. I don't know. I'm just a comment. I don't know about a lot about this part, so I'm just asking.
Yeah. This is a very interesting comment, and all these different aspects of built environment are exactly used to be able to approximate different aspects of urban aspects, urban phenomena, or stuff like that. However, we need to be aware and vigilant, let's say, that they may be a proxy, but not by themselves, and also by incorporating different understanding from this. What I mean, let's give you an example. We have here the buildings. It's a nice example for this because we have as spacious low rise, both in this area of Athens, that it is a very residential area with a high class, not high class exactly, but I mean a very good neighborhood of the city, let's say, just to be understandable. But also we have areas in Eleonas and Botanikos, which is areas that are industrial areas without that much residential buildings, stuff like that. This is why one should combine both the build density types with the functional mixture in terms of combining in their analysis by comparing them visually, not exactly, there's no need all the time for let's say sophisticated measures and analysis all the time, but you have to understand that this is here that we have, let's say, we have the spacious low-rise buildings, we have spacious low-rise industrial or military facilities to combine functional and build density. Or on the other hand, we have spacious low-rise urban green or active leisure areas. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the point?
Yes, I understand.
Because, or for example, what we started describing before about build density types. We had, if I'm not mistaken, dense high-rise. We have dense high-rise commercial neighborhood, where here we have dense mid-rise, if I'm remembering correctly, living neighborhood with substantial access to urban green. So these composite types could be super types with combining everything. This is the idea to try for all of us to navigate all these different aspects of built environment, especially as a way to try to think of how it is the different aspects of the city, more or less, to try and make some intervention based on this. So, yeah, this is the main idea. Okay, if we don't have any comment and we feel that we have developed an understanding at least of the different aspects of built environment of our study area, we can move on to the next step, which is, let me go to the mirror, which is developing the scenario of our 15-minute strategy. So here, we'll see we have created an Excel file. I'm opening it here, where we have some interventions that are relevant to 15-minute strategies and stuff like that, as we discussed, as also Stefanos presented at the beginning. We have, for example, prioritization of pedestrian activity, new bus lines and exclusive bus lanes, and so on and so forth. I would think that it would be helpful to give you all 5 minutes to take a look at these different interventions, but also the score, the effort that they need to be done. Because for each one of these measures, we have a budget, let's say. Well, sorry, we have a total budget that it's related to this score, to this effort. For example, new metro stations for sure help for connectivity, but it's not that easy and that cheap to create a new metro station. And when I'm saying cheap, I'm not referring only to the cost of the monetary value of creating a metro station, but the impact, the difficulty that puts on neighborhood, how it is, how the planning process, how difficult it is and how lengthy it is, the whole effort and the whole, let's say, the whole idea of this kind of measures. So I propose let's all take 5 minutes to take a peek to these different measures and to think about how our collective vision dictates which measure to use according to the different built environment types that we discussed previously. So let's take 5, all of us. We'll be here. I will not close the camera or everything. Just to discuss, I will go one by one to each one of us can propose a measure and then see to what budget we accumulate it to. Let's take 5, everyone. Also, feel free to add it yourselves in the table, meaning when you go all through this, you can put here. For example, I want to propose prevention of gentrification, touristification, affordable housing. Here, it will find the category that it refers to, the cost that it has in terms of effort and stuff like that. So you can see that the remaining budget now it's been reduced to 17, sorry. And also I have to specify the impact that I think that it has. It's moderate, it's good, it's low, what I believe. So, okay, that's my own, let's say, measure that I propose. Each one of us, let's put a measure and see what we can come up with.
Can you move a bit to the left?
So of course. But I just move, but keep in mind that everything it's here in the middle, we have the link. If it's more helpful for you to click and be on the table. But I will also leave it here for everyone to see it from my screen. Also, if you have any question or need a clarification for a measure or anything, of course, feel free to ask. I'm just trying to give you some space, some time to think about them and put what you believe is helpful. Okay, this was the 5 minutes mark. Let's wait for everyone to put their final touches, 1 minute or so, and then we can discuss it. Okay, do all of us put a measure or so? We still have some three coins left. Does someone wants to propose something? Or if you haven't had the time to do it, feel free to open your mic and share it with us, and you can. Okay, I think now we have. Yeah, we up. Now we got over budget. Okay, what do you think? Does someone wants to comment on their selected measures? And okay, we started to go over budget again. It's fine, but let's discuss what we're giving and what we're not. It's okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Following
Yes,
the first
yeah.
note, I feel that a strict classification reformulation is a good start before preventive measures of gentrification, because preventive measures of gentrification or any other sort of action needs data from how the neighborhood has the potential to function. And in order to do that, you need to start by the streets. Start getting some streets going, get some pedestrianization going, even the weekends, test different layouts for streets. Vienna was doing that. In weekends, they were closing down main streets and having pedestrian access only. So after you do that, which is, I feel, is the most important thing, you can start having data of what sort of actions you should prevent or promote.
Yeah, just a clarification. It wasn't put like in a ranking. This is the most important stuff, or that it is the
Just
first.
we do it.
Yeah. It's a collection of measures, and to be honest, it was just an example that I did just at the beginning for get the ball rolling. Let's say so. It's not the idea. At least it's not that this is over the other, but these are all our measures. Let's say the repository of measures that we will implement in our area. Okay, I will make a small comment just for helping you. Take the time yourselves to comment something. I put I put it as an example, but also because Kypseli is in our area of interest, the study area, we already have started to see some strong indications or phenomena of gentrification and touristification of the area. So this is why I thought of putting this measure, to be honest, and because we're starting to see how this area starts to change. Of course, what exactly is this measure? It's a big discussion. I'm not pretending that I can say it's this or that specifically, very directly. But yeah, this is why I proposed it. Okay, who proposed traffic calming areas, road safety measures?
That was me.
Okay, great.
I added it. I did think it was a bit expensive. However, because we have priorities that have to do with road safety, local economy, public open spaces, and the sense of neighborhood and everyday life of residents, it seemed to be connected to many of these. So it could be an important kind of intervention.
Great, and a great way to remind us all that it is very important to keep the link between the vision, how it's our area, and our proposals. Great. The new bus lines and exclusive bus lanes, who proposed it? I come back to this. I will go to that.
Me.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the whole area has a problem with connectivity, and only one or two lines of bus. I think it's a urban problem for the planning of the whole area.
Yeah, that's great. Did you want to say something and I cut you off, maybe?
I think that if we focus to plan more bus lanes and exclusive more bus lanes, we have a more strong socio-environmental impact. We have much more connectivity fields with other areas in the historical center of Athens. And maybe the index is more strongly with economic or other social facilities. I think to strong more the local, facilities in many fields, like local business, community with more environmental issues to be more sensitive with urban planning. Maybe, I hope.
Yeah. That's great and very insightful ideas and proposals about our specific area, especially. Okay, moving on to the next one, the tactical urbanism pilot measures. Who proposed this?
I proposed this one. I
Great.
thought it's a great way to experiment and see what works and doesn't work in a small scale. And it's a great way to wake up the neighborhood and see how we can best provide what we need. Like maybe we try like a small road for bikes to see how many people were excited, how many people used it, and which way, by putting in some different spaces, see which way they prefer to use bikes, or maybe other ways to wake up the neighborhood. Do something for the neighborhood from the start. Don't just make them wait for something grand. Like like how we say the Metro of Thessaloniki. Something like that. Instead of waiting for a metro station that will take 15 years, at least try maybe smaller bus stations or bike roads to make it easier for when the big changes come. Because obviously, for example, road safety measures or preventions of gentrification and touristification might take a little more to be activated. So maybe we need to find small ways so we can activate the neighborhood. And I think if the locals wake up and see that we're making some change, they want to help and give feedback themselves, which will ultimately help us decide and design the city we need.
Great. Makes perfect sense. It's very, very helpful for us to think about all these things. Okay, the next one. Strict, if you have finished what you're saying. The street activities, active frontages, open markets. Who had this idea?
This is me again.
Great.
This was the moment where we had some budget.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving. So
For sure.
I added this one. Okay, Jason mentioned it before. I don't know if he wants to add anything, but it seemed like a good small intervention that can be done to kind of help with these the goals that we set in the vision. But I did imagine that it wouldn't have a massive impact, like a good impact, but not something that completely changes the situation.
Yeah, great. Yes, makes sense. Yeah, Jason, do you want to comment something on this because you had written it also previously?
About what? The markets? Sorry.
About the active front. It's fine.
Yeah. After you have, I believe it's the most important part of the neighborhood, the active store facades, to have, it relates to many aspects. Security first. If you have people in the street, it's secure. You don't need cameras. If you have active store facades that are multifunctional and go throughout the day, the shops are being replaced by bars or cafes and everything. So you have people all day around the streets. And you have local commerce. It's for there are visual cues for you to walk and do your stuff. But yes, I agree that it should. Are we discussing about priority now or no?
No. Just
Okay.
yeah. What you said. Not.
It's these things. It's very important to do them in the right order, I think.
Yeah, makes sense. What we haven't thought about to include it specifically in the.
But I wouldn't do markets at first. I would do the street network first.
Yeah. Makes sense. Also, this is a nice opportunity to comment on this. We not believe that this kind of exercise or this kind of approach is like the true planning process, that someone should do it like this and this is the only thing that is needed. What we're trying to do here is to go through all the steps that are being taken into account when a planning process is happening, to kind of try all of us understand and be in the shoes of a planner or whatever, and be able to link analysis with planning and to argue for our own position on the matter. So we don't propose that this is a way to plan the city by itself. It's just a planning exercise to understand what is going on and how we can use these types and this framework as the board, more or less, to discuss about what we want from the city. Just a clarification I wanted to do. Okay, the multi-purpose building spaces, it's also Phrixos. Okay, who made this recommendation and want to comment something? It's okay if you don't want to.
I
Please go
did the multi-purpose building spaces. I think in a neighborhood you just need third spaces, or where everybody can connect, and that's something that's missing from most of Athens. And I just find it very important, especially for a city like Athens. That's all.
Yeah, it's you're very. As a resident, I pretty much agree with this sentiment, to be honest. Okay, and the final one, which is we had some money left, and someone thought, as correctly my view, to spend them on prioritization of cycling micromobility. Who made this proposal and wants to comment something? Okay, we can, just for the sake of timing also, I would suggest this, and if we found the owner of the prioritization of cycling can is emerged, we can stop and discuss a bit. But now, what I propose
sorry. It was me. Really sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes. For a neighborhood to function locally, after a point you need to stop using the car and you should ban it completely. You need to actually create soft mobility networks within the neighborhood and between neighborhoods. Cars should be used only for a vacation or to go beyond the neighborhood. So it's a political decision. If you ask me, I would say no, but if I was forced to, I don't have any other option, basically.
Yeah, I get your point. So now, to also be more efficient in terms of timing, what I would propose is each one of us. Okay, let me do it like this. Let's open in the mirror as well. Let me. One minute. So, okay. Here we have all the measures that each one of us, every one of us, presented, proposed. So, what I would propose is everyone take one of these post-it notes, put the number that corresponds with the proposal, or even copy paste it, whatever it's easier. Probably just the number, to be honest, to not be too big, and based on the analysis that we've done, put it on the corresponding area that it refers to. For this, for sure, you can open the map again, but also here on the far right, we have also the analysis as maps. So you can, but while you are putting your proposals in space in the areas, please do think about the different urban types, the analysis, and why you are putting this. Because when we're back in 5 minutes or so, or 10, something like that, we will make a round, and every one of us will have to, let's say, argue why you are proposing this measure in this area based on the urban types and stuff like that. So let's just take 5 and see if it's enough, and we'll come back when we have all put our proposals here. And also because we don't have here the hexagons, it should be here, but it's not. The proposal is not like in this specific road or this specific square. It's more or less in this area. This is the idea of it. Okay. I'm seeing that you already starting to put things here, so go ahead and we'll be back in 5 minutes or so to discuss it. I'm seeing that you're still putting things. Do we want 1, 2 minutes more? Are we ready? Can you hear me? Are we almost finished? In what state we are? Do you want some more minutes, or we are ready to start discussing? Yeah, go ahead.
2 minutes.
Sorry, δεν άκουσα.
Can we have 2 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Let's have
Thank you.
2 or 3 more minutes, maybe a bit more as well, and we're starting in a bit. Okay, let's have 1 more minute, and then we can start discussing our proposals. Is this enough for everyone? I will consider this a yes, and in 1 minute we can start discussing why you selected this or the other proposal. Based, if you want, if someone has finished, can take this time and start here adding their arguments, meaning I proposed measure 14 or whatever it's called, because it has this type of functional mixture or this type of build density or that type of network centrality and stuff like that. Okay, so let's wait a bit, but in the meantime, you can start using this part to write down your arguments, linking the vision to the analysis for justifying your measure, your proposed measure. Okay, let's have 1 minute until 5 minutes before 1, and we can start. So, are we ready? Do you want to start? I've not seen any texts here, so I guess we're doing it by presenting one by one what we have decided what and why. Okay, let's go to the 9th, the classification. I don't see it here. Okay, I'll go to the 11th. Traffic calming. It's Frixos, it's you. Okay, nice. Great to start us off as well. So yeah.
So I put 11 there. Basically, I saw that in these areas, kind of to the south, there are many central streets together. So I thought it would have the most impact there. And also, there are these two kind of central streets that continue through the neighborhood. So I thought this is the place where it would have the most impact. And it kind of matches with the maps we were looking before, the most integrated parts, the high density. Yes.
Great. Thanks a lot. We will come back to your next measures if you have them. It's fine if you don't. Okay. Yeah. The new bus lines and exclusive bus lanes that I saw some. I saw them also on the map here. And I'm not sure now who has proposed it initially. So remind me, please, and also, justify why you do it, why you put it there. The new bus, the second measure, who has proposed it? I'll put it on the map.
Yes.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Okay. The idea was that we connected two most extreme points of this area because they have a transportation deficit, and because we want to connect the two extreme points of this area, so that we have connectivity and serve residents, visitors, and local businesses. It also serves gaps in other means of transport in the area that cannot contribute to mobility for technical reasons, as well as promoting the culture among the population for traveling by public transport. This was the central idea.
Great. Thanks a lot. Nice formulation, let's say, of the proposal. Okay, I'm going to the 13th that I've seen some of them. The tactical urbanism pilot measures. Fotini, was it you?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, so I decided to start from down in the corner left because this area is very close to Kolonos, and I decided at first I put 13 up close to Varvara and this area, but I decided to change the area and start like that because in this area it's a very unstable area in the center of Athens. And I think it'd be very interesting to try and experiment with the areas that need the change the most. And I also made a line, if you can see, starting from there and going up and from the east. And then the experimental maybe change of the neighborhood stops at the park or a green space, and basically this is just the space, the parts I decided I wanted to try and experiment with, the places I believe need it the most, and how we can create new roads maybe towards more green spaces. That's all.
That's great. Very nice. Okay. Then we have the 18. I saw a lot of them. ITU.
This is me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, to be honest, this one I wasn't really sure where to place it, because on the one hand we know that the more dense areas are on the west side, the least dense areas are on the east. So I feel like there could be an argument for both, that there are more people on the west side, so there will be more demand and more use, but also that on the east side there is potentially more need, that the frontages are less active, there's less things going on. So I just kind of put them in the middle where these two zones meet, and kind of activate this space, and yeah, that was my thinking.
Okay, great. Great, thanks a lot. Let's see the next one. 21, I saw some things for the multipurpose building spaces. I'm not sure, it was Fotini that you proposed this, or?
Yes.
Great. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So the placement this time, I didn't think number 6 as part of the city, but if it was a city on its own, then I would like to have at least 3 third spaces in 3 corners of the city, and then maybe one big one in the middle. So every part of the neighborhood, if it was like a circular neighborhood, kind of like that extends like a sun, let's say, then I would have in the corner spaces where, usually people in the corner are less in the less social part of the city. So maybe could be like that, and then in the middle a big third space that is still close to the metros, but also close to the more local area.
That's great. Just have a question. Can I ask something, but I don't want to bias you or to change, not at all, but just how you understand. Okay, what you're describing really seems to me like the new local centers type, measure, intervention. And was curious, how do you understand this kind of multipurpose buildings and third spaces in a more local scale that more relates to a building and a spot on the city, and not really as a centrality or something else? Just because I'm finding it very interesting. This is why I'm asking to get your view on this.
Well, I think when it comes to Athens, maybe I don't want very close buildings. Like maybe more like I prefer the multipurpose spaces. And maybe it could be like the way I think of it. Maybe, for example, one part could be skate parks and ramps and parts like that. Another part could be more like maybe a nice space for people to be more creative in the sense of art, something like that. Maybe more like a creative multi-purpose spaces that I personally would prefer, also in the literal sense that they're somewhat open and not closed buildings, because I think Athens has enough of these. So I think the most welcoming option is open spaces. Local centers, you mean like shops and malls?
No, not a space, not particularly, not necessarily actually, but it could be something like a square and around also some densification of activities. But what you're describing, it's a different thing. This is what
more like
Sorry.
maybe it's depend the needs. Maybe each place has a different approach. It's a multi-purpose space, and some similar ones, and then it kind of creates every single neighborhood that it's enclosed in every single space. Every single one has their own personality, basically. If you go to that space, some people will have to go up more, but you are someone who likes skating, you will go to that part of the city, but you will find other people with similar interests. If you're someone that likes painting, maybe there's a part with empty walls for people that can spray paint for the public. Or and then maybe the one in the center has more purposes, maybe something that's in between everything, and it's easier for maybe the center one. I would actually give it more to families. I think it's nice for the kids all around to meet each other, families know each other in big space, and then the corner ones is for more cliques, kind of, young ones, stuff like that.
Great. The only again, I was only trying to highlight this aspect of what you're describing that I found very interesting. So it's not just the centrality or just something, but to have like creative spaces, a diversity of uses and stuff like that, which is found very interesting, and I want to highlight it. Great. So and finally, we had the. I think this is all, if I'm not mistaken. I think we saw most of the interventions, if not all. If I have forgot something, feel free to comment it regarding the intervention that you think that you made and you want to argue about it and why you decided to do so. Okay. So, I think, I don't know if, okay, let me put this. Just as a homework, let's say, or if you want to work a bit again on this, you can, the idea was to debate each other's proposals, let's say, and understand whether our whole strategy can, actually, the different measures can create a common strategy that it's for this area. But because we're running a bit late, a bit behind on time, I would encourage you to think about it and try to work on it on your own time, and also feel free to ask us anything you want. We're very open to any comments and clarifications you may need. But before closing, we want you to first fill a form that I will send in the. Great. So first, take some time, take 5-10 minutes, and fill this form for receiving your feedback. And then we'll go back to another minute to just some final comments. But first, please take some time and follow this form and fill this form. Sorry, this thing.